Okay, separable prefix verbs. There are different kind of verbs in German language. The majority, so many verbs, they're used without any prefixes. For example, gehen, ich gehe ins Kino. Oder machen, ich mache meine Hausaufgaben. But we have to consider, we have to know that there are specific verbs in German language. We call them verbs with separable prefixes. And there are verbs with inseparable prefixes. Actually, when we talk about separable or inseparable prefixes, we have to concentrate on prefixes themselves, not on the verbs, because the same verb may be used in a sentence without any prefixes at all, or with different prefixes, and we will see today how it will work in German language. Let's create a very simple situation. We have a girl, and girl is moving to another apartment. So what she's doing, she's practically making paper boxes. Paper boxes for moving. Now, and we create nice sentence. Anna macht den Karton. So which means Anna make the box. One box. Okay, we analyze this sentence and we see that the verb of this sentence is macht. So macht, we open our dictionary and we will try to find infinitive of this verb because only infinitives are listed in our dictionaries, and to be able to translate the sentence we have to translate the verb, find infinitive, and we will find infinitive machen. So remember, infinitive is the form of the verb with ending en. And for our conjugations of our subject plus verb agreement, as usually what we're doing, we change the endings. You use the same stem unless we talk about irregular verbs with stem vowel changes. Okay, so we found the verb machen, and we understand that this verb, the meaning of the verb is to make. So we understand the sentence. Anna makes the box. Okay, what about I will give you another sentence. Peter macht den Karton auf. So you read the sentence and it looks like the sentence you saw before. So remember, Anna makes the box. But something here is new, something here is different. You see at the end of this sentence, we use small element, some kind of particle, looks like a preposition, but it is not a preposition because prepositions are always used with nouns, with objects. Here we do not have any objects. We see that Peter apparently makes the box plus one more element. And when we translate the sentence, we will realize that absolutely different story happens. It's not about making the box. So how are we supposed to find what's going on in this sentence? Again, we will open our dictionary and we will look for infinitive. Look how it works with verbs with separable prefixes. When you try to find your verb in your dictionary, what you need to do, you take the prefix, so what we use at the end of the sentence, you put it back to the verb, and only then you open your dictionary, you will find the verb. So when you will find your verb, you will see that the translation, the meaning is absolutely different. Now we understand that actually what Peter is doing, he is opening the box, because the verb we found in the dictionary is aufmachen, which means to open. Look, we do not talk about making boxes anymore. We change absolutely the process. Now Peter is opening the box. So you see how it works with separable prefixes. When we use a verb with separable prefix in a sentence, we separate the prefix and we put it to the very end of the sentence. Only in this case we can create a logically correct sentence. And backwards, when we translate a sentence with separable prefix verb, we take the prefix from the end of our idea, of our sentence, we put it back to the verb, and only then we look up in our dictionaries. Other way, if you will ignore your prefix from the end, you will translate your sentence absolutely wrongly. You will understand that Peter is making the box, which will be not true at all. Okay. I give you another sentence. Peter macht den Karton zu. Now, you're already aware, you understand that something is happening in this sentence, and you see that we changed the only last element of the whole sentence. We changed the prefix. Now we use another prefix, and when we translate this sentence, we will see that we have the opposite meaning of the verb. Now, only because of the last element zu, if you check the dictionary, and we will do in this way, we will put zu in front of the verb, and then we will find the verb zumachen, and zumachen means to close, to seal, to close the box. As you see, we changed our sentence completely. In the previous sentence, Peter was opening the box. Now Peter is closing the box. So this is very important to pay attention, to look after such separable prefixes and do not ignore them. When you will ignore the small element at the end of your sentence, you may translate the entire sentence absolutely wrongly. Okay, so this zoo is always used, or this prefix is always used at the end of the sentence. Let's say, for example, we want to give a comment, a request. Please close the box. So how we do it? You remember the verb translation in German is zumachen. So we will use this verb, but even in our request, in our comment, we will separate the prefix and we will put it to the end. Mach den Karton zu. Close the box. So zu always separated and always is used at the end. What's about we don't want to do something? So you remember, as usual, what we do when we negate the verb in German language, we put specific negation at the end of the sentence, negation nicht. But here we have already prefix at the end. So how can we create a negation? So how can we negate a verb which has a separable prefix? So how do we say do not close the box? So what we're doing, look, we actually still use our prefix at the end, but we insert our negation, nicht, as the second last element of our sentence. So while you read sentences, not only commas, but regular statements, always look, where is this nicht? And if you see nicht as the second last element standing in front preceding the prefix, that is for you an indicator that what we negate in this sentence, the process, the verb of itself. Okay? Good. Do we always separate prefix and put it to the end of the sentence? No, sometimes we have a different situation. Let's say we want to say first in English, it is time to close the box. So what we will say, it is time to close the box. Look, what I highlighted here, red, is such called particle to. This particle, we use it in English language to indicate that our verb has no connection to any subject. There is no subject in this phrase, and this is not a sentence, this is the phrase. This is some kind of idea. It is time for what? For closing the box. We indicate the idea by using verb in infinitive form with the particle to. How do we do it in German? So you remember, what is yellow? Is the verb to close, and the verb to close in German means zumachen. So we, instead of you saying to in German, we use particle zu. So now we have unusual situation. We have to use two different zu together in one sentence. And how it works in German, we will say es ist Zeit. Now it is time, and now we have to say to close the box. First, we mentioned the box, den Karton. You remember this carton box? And what we're doing next, look, we put our verb in infinitive form with particle zu together. Now we have unusual situation. We use twice, zu twice. But you do understand, I quoted them by using different colors, so you understand that they have different functions. The red zu is just particle as an indicator that we use an infinitive. The yellow zu is our separable prefix, but in this case it's not separated from the verb because we use only infinitive. We do not have subjects. Our verb is not in agreement with any subjects. We do not have conjugation here. So this is how we practically use these verbs with separable prefixes in German language. What's about modality? You remember modal verbs. If you want to say, I have to do something, I want to do something. Now in this case we say, ich muss, I must. So I have to close the box. Again, in German, in English, we use to, particle to. For modal verbs, when we use our main verbs with modal verbs and our main verb has a separable prefix, we just use it at the end of the sentence. I have to close the box. Ich muss den Karton zumachen.